Okay guys, so in this video we are going to take a close look at the 8-inch PlayStation 2 portable. And when you're seeing it here, you want to say that it isn't a very big handheld, but I can say this is a really big badass machine. It's even more crazier than the previous models I've reviewed, and they keep involving these, let's say, portable devices with real hardware, because yep, it's in PlayStation 2 inside the casing. But inside the box we're going to get the PlayStation 2 portable. Because of the batteries inside, we're going to get the special 8.4 charger. It's a better quality one, and of course we're going to get the card reader or USB drive. The power supply, I did test them out, and this one is not of bad quality. It weighs not very heavy, but the reason I'm saying this, with my previous models, like the one I bought from AliExpress, oh boy, this thing was getting really hot. And this one doesn't do that at all. So I'm very pleased to see there are different qualities out there. But we're going to need the adapter, otherwise I can't use it. But sticking in my plug, oh boy, it's really tight. And I must say that is with all of these devices. I don't know what's going on, but it's not falling out anyway. All of these adapters are equipped with an LED for indication how far your battery has been charged. And I must say it works very well. It will pop up green if it's ready to go. The USB drive, or the Nokia micro adapter. That's the only thing that we're going to get. You can use a thumb drive if you want to. This is a 32 GB. I can say that it is more than enough for storing like your favorite games. The only downside that is with these USB drives, compatibility. Yep, compatibility with some games. If you look at OPL compatibility, you can see there are a lot of issues. And not to forget the loading times. The loading times are quite long compared with, let's say, an internal hard drive like a PlayStation 2 Fat. So that's a little bit of a bummer in my opinion. And overall, how is the quality of the casing and how comfortable? Because this thing is even bigger than the last one. The first PlayStation 2 I bought was a freaking nightmare. I must say, it's slightly better, but it's not good at all. So when you're looking at a device of this price range, you will expect you're going to get this perfect finished paint job. And in my opinion, it's just a freaking nightmare. You can see that they didn't paint it well. And beside that point, there are still, you have some damages here and there. I don't know what's going on and how decent the paint job is like beneath it, but I can say that it's just not good. Especially when you're paying a lot of money for it, you can see that it is not that great. So I'm quite disappointed when it comes to the paint job. On the picture it looks all so nice. The 7-inch model, the previous one, I liked it. It was very comfortable, but this one, it's slightly less comfortable, simply because it's very hard to use the analog stick combined with shoulder button. So that's what we're going to try out in the video. Over here we're going to get some ventilation holes, but that also weakens the casing. You can especially see with the top that when you're pushing it in, you can see like the casing is just less sturdier. And that's something that I wish they worked on, like giving thicker plastic and give them more sturdy feeling. Oh, by the way, don't even drop this thing. So let's weight it. Are we going to get a beefcake arm? Oh, absolutely, 820 grams. Holy crap, that is a lot. With this one, you don't need to go to the gym, especially when you're training your arms. But okay, so let's take a close look. How does it work and how does it feel? So the D-pad, everything feels like the previous model. Got nice PlayStation 4 analog sticks. At the bottom, we're going to get an AV out port. So that is something new with this model. We can use it like in game console. That is pretty cool. Okay, then we're having like the plug-in for the power adapter and the on and off switch. We're turning it on, you can see that the LCD goes on. But booting up the main board, you need to press the PlayStation button on the left bottom part. So within, let's say, 20 seconds, it will boot up OPL with the games that you have installed. Okay, so let's try the ultimate test. Now you're thinking, what is the ultimate test? With my previous model, I had a lot of issues with the D-pad. Yeah, the D-pad was quite awful. This time it feels slightly better, it's still a little bit smooshy, and to be honest, I'm not a big fan of it. But when playing some games, so I was surprised to see that this thing actually works pretty good. But when it comes to moves, I really need to get used to the D-pad, and I can get the moves out, you can see over here, but an overall experience was not that great. If I need to give it a number, I'd say like a 6 out of 10. Like, it's okay. But the analog stick. Yeah, that is a big improvement. Like with the previous 2021 model, we're having now a PlayStation 4 analog stick. So I was messing around with the D-pad for too long, so I moved through the analog stick. And analog stick is a great way to play. So if you like a guy plays with analog stick from fighting games, I think you will be happy with it. It's a big improvement. Oh man, if I need to combine this thing with the shoulder buttons, it's really difficult to play. But alright. So this device is 8 inches of fun. But the problem is that combined like with the shoulder buttons, the analog stick, like with shooting games, how is this going to play? So I wanted to try out a little bit of a black gameplay just to see how it works out. The shoulder buttons, they look kind of filthy, to be honest. Yeah, look at this. But they have membranes beneath them and they are just fine like all the other models I've reviewed. But let's play some games. Because when you're playing some black instant shooter, there are a lot of different ones on the PlayStation 2. But what I find a little bit annoying is that the handheld is just too big. It's too big for my hands. So I find it less comfortable to play. Finally, the freaking D-pad and all the other buttons work fine, so if you need to pick up something or you need to reload, it works way better. That's just the way how it seems to be working now. It's just a freaking miracle. I'm gonna say that it will be unplayable, but in overall experience, I personally prefer the other one, because this thing is way too big for my hands. So with this expensive machine, we're going to get an 8-inch LCD display. And I must say that the display itself looks very nice. The viewing angles are great. The only thing I didn't like is that it has this more like a mirror layer on it. So the reflection is quite annoying, especially when you want to record some stuff. So lights out and I'll show you how it looks. You can see that the view angle is very good in this one, even better than the 7-inch edition that I've reviewed recently. So in overall, yeah, I'm very glad to see that this 8-inch looks very nice. On the top we're going to get 2 buttons. They are really hard to press. But this one is basically for changing between channels. And the inside, most of these devices still have an HDMI input. So I don't know why they are not using this. But you can switch between them if you want to. So if you want to hook up something on your portable device, makes no sense, but whatever. So let's take a close look at the menu, because here we're going to get some differences. Because of the aspect ratio of this screen is different like the other ones. Yeah, basically we don't have an aspect ratio change because it's not needed. You can just change everything out like brightness, contrast. If you want to change these things out, there's no problem whatsoever. But I keep talking about how big this thing is. So let's do a quick comparison with the old model and the Nintendo Switch. And when you're putting the Nintendo Switch beneath this beast of a machine, you can see how big the PlayStation 8-inch actually is. So let's put it on it. So you can see in great example how big this bad boy is. Let's change out the viewer angle so you have a better idea. So you know the Nintendo Switch is quite big, complete with Joy-Cons, but this thing is just massive. So let's put them side by side with the older model. And the older model was already big, but this thing, oh boy, this really big boy. So let's grab the Switch again. To give you a quick comparison between all the models. And you can see that it is really big. So that's the reason why I told you I don't know man, it's not really comfortable for a very long time. Okay, so let's remove all of the screws and let's see what are we going to get on the inside. Because in bigger shells, that means that we're having a lot of room now. But the weird thing is there is no 2 extra big parkers on the back. Normally the 2 shells going to get clamped together with the 2 parkers on the back. Gives us a more sturdy feeling, and we don't have this, so that's quite concerning. So normally we're going to get 4 of these parkers on the bottom and the top, but we're going to get 2, or better said 1 on each side. So removing them is very easily. They didn't tie them up that bad, but the problem is when you don't tie them up too much, it feels a little bit wonky when you're having the 2 shells. Okay, so let's remove the last one and let's see if we can open it up. Okay, so it's always the question, how can I open it up? Simply because, oh man, you need to be so gentle. There are so many wires on the inside that you can basically rip apart. Okay, so I wanted to turn it around and all my 3D printed shoulder buttons fell out. So this is the way I need to open it up. And I must say there is no hot glue madness over here going on. This ribbon cable, I think I'm going to detach it because it's too short. So let's detach it. It's for the top part, so it's not needed to show the insides. Alright. Okay, so let's do a quick overview. So first of all, they changed out a lot of things. So now we're having like these PCBs they can buy from the market over there that they can use. So they don't have like this soldering nightmare anymore, and also there is no hot glue almost in here. And the reason why, because there are like having 3D printed brackets. The same goes for the batteries. With my previous one that was more like a freaking nightmare with hot glue. So the only thing I didn't like the memory card, you can see like it is loose. There's just wimbling in the inside. That is not good. So another thing is like they again used not enough screws, so the mainboard is loose. But the fan, let's talk about the fan. The fan they are using, it seems to be like new ones, because these things are not bad and they are not loud. So let's give you a quick sample. So when it's booting up, it will give like the highest setting, but then overall this fan is really silent. But when you take a closer look at the top shell, we can see this gigantic bracket that they have 3D printed. I must say this looks way better than the previous model. No hot glue, no whatsoever like using kit, they're just using this. You can see here having like the HDMI they can maybe utilize if you want to connect something to your portable device. But then overall, if you're looking at the way they build it, in my opinion, it's not super bad. And they are like improving it. You can see here on Taobao, it seems to be you can buy these boards if you want to make them yourself. So I'm guessing they just buy all of the parts and put them together. And overall, I'm pleased to see that they are improving it. It's still not perfect in many ways, but there is a lot of room in this shell. And I would not be surprised to see they're making like a different portable device with the same shell in the future. But that's something we'll see then. But an overall experience was not that bad, to be honest. I think it's one of the best at the moment. The controls were good. I played a lot of games, but it's a little bit too big for my hands. And even having smaller hands, there's no way you can play this bad boy. I want to thank you for watching. Consider subscribing to the channel, hit that little bell, become one of the Wicked family, because I have a lot of great content coming up. And it would be great to have you here. Hit the little bell, and I will see you in the next video.